recording of this as a follow-up in the email, so don't worry about that. Let's go here to talk about me. So I am your external long-term care wholesaler. If you're coming to Las Vegas, I'll see you next week in Las Vegas. Stop by my booth and grab a pen, say hello. I'll be happy to greet you there. Maria will be there as well. So I'm available to assist you with point of sale work. We can do client conference calls together. We can do client webinars. I can come out there and do some training in person, whatever you'd like to do. I am physically located in Delaware. I live in Delaware with my husband. We're empty nesters. I've been doing long-term care planning for the last 26 years, so a long time. This is what I do. It's near and dear to my heart. I just love what I do. I really feel like people need help in this area. It is the one thing that can devastate every single other plan you put into place with your client. All those life insurance policies you sold, all the reverse mortgages or anything a client owns can be completely wiped out by the cost of long-term care, especially in these expensive retirement states where the weather's nice, and you all know where I'm talking about. So that's Nevada, Arizona, California, even Texas these days, right? You heard of Austin is the new California, right? It's the new San Diego resort area. All right. Also available to you, the Crump Long-Term Care Solution Center. They specifically for long-term care. They're staffed with about 17 folks. They have extended hours. So they work till 7 p.m. Eastern time, which gives you West Coasters some time to get your quotes in. They work on a 24-hour basis. So just get your quotes in within 24 hours of when you need them. So don't wait till the last minute for stuff. We understand when you have emergencies. I'll show you how I can show you that you can run the quotes yourself if you're so inclined, but calling them, asking them for their help, what the sweet spots are with the different carriers, what should I be quoting, that sort of thing. They can guide you and help you, same as me. So this is my direct line. It's not a cell phone, so please don't text, but it is a direct line. All right, so that is me. So on with the show. These slides are for financial professional use only. That means for your eyes only. If you need client slides, I'll give you client slides. So always be in the habit of using information for agents. You always see at the bottom of something, it'll say financial professional use. If it doesn't say that, then it's okay for clients. And you'll see a bunch of other disclaimers and that kind of thing whenever it's a client usage. So here's our agenda for tonight. I don't need to read you all this. We're just going to get on with the show. So this is called the basics of long-term care. So it's basic training. So let's start with the definition of not only extended care, but long-term care. These words are synonymous. You can pick the words that you like personally. Whatever rolls off your tongue, pick it. This is also how you, not only is it the definition of extended care, it's how you go on claim. So you need to know this slide verbatim. You should know this. Have a picture of this in your head. It's every single carrier. This is how you go on claim. When you're unable to perform two of six activities of daily living for 90 days or longer. People forget this part. They say, you know, Miss Jones, when you break your hip. No, don't say that. That's not long-term care. That's short-term care. Her health insurance will pay for that. Medicare will pay for that. We're not worried about short-term problems. You have an emergency fund for those problems. This is, I'm having a problem with these activities and it's going to last at least 90 days or longer. Okay, so we need the doctor to certify. This is not the waiting period on a policy. Sometimes they are 90 days. That's a coincidence. Okay, this is the doctor certifying your problem will last. That's what makes it long term. The other triggers severe cognitive impairment. The word severe is used. That means you're to the point where you're unsafe to be left alone. So it could be with either one of these. It could be an illness that causes the problem or an accident that caused the problem. It can be a temporary problem or a permanent problem. As long as the doctor's certified it's going to last or certified that it's severe, I can go on and claim. You can go on and off claim with the policies I'm going to talk about today. Now listen, some of those policies you sell, life insurance with a rider, you can't go on and off claim. They want you to have a permanent condition. Long-term care doesn't require that. So it doesn't matter why you can't do your activities. Permanent, temporary, illness, or accident, okay? That's real important because that's what flexibility is all about. We don't know why we'll need care or when we'll need care. When you start your client conversation, simply ask them, Mr. Jones, what if you couldn't do your activities of daily living or you had a cognitive issue for an extended period of time? What does your plan look like? Are you going to try to stay home? Are you going to move into a facility? Maybe use adult daycare daytime, come home at night. Maybe you're thinking about a continuing care retirement community life, assisted living, nursing home. What are you thinking about? Now, I'm not asking him about insurance. I'm asking him what his plan is. We need to know his plan. We're going to find the solution, that's the insurance, to fit his plan. Now, most people are going to say they want to stay at home. So this is not on a slide, so take a note. There's two things you need to ask for home care. You need to ask, where's the home going to be? Don't assume it's right there where he's sitting, because people tend to move closer to their children or to a different state. They don't know where they're going to be, but try to ask the where. Then you also want to ask the who. Who do they think, whether it's reality or not, or it's going to happen or not, doesn't matter. Who do they think is going to come over? All right. Because you're trying to figure out their plan. All right. Now, all policies are going to let you hire from a home health agency or licensed, bonded, insured people. All policies allow that. But only some policies let you hire informal, unlicensed persons, a neighbor, a niece, a housekeeper, a daughter. So if that's this guy's answer, hey, Susan, don't put me here ever. Put me here as long as possible. And you know what? I'm going to hire my daughter. Is your daughter a nurse? No. Okay. Then you're going to know right from the start that you need to sell him a policy that will allow that. When I said reality, you got to have hard conversations with your client, okay, with long-term care. So I might say to him, well, Mr. Jones, let me ask you a couple of questions about your daughter. Where does she live? Couple towns over, couple states over. Where does she live? What does she do for a living? Oh, she's very successful. Yeah, she's a surgeon, she's a doctor, she's a lawyer, whatever. Okay, she's a stay-at-home mom. They're just as busy as the doctors and lawyers, right? Am I right? Yeah. So what does she do for a living? Okay. Where does she live? What does she do for a living? What's going to happen? Are you going to go live with her? Is she coming to live with you? How is this going to work out? Your daughter's going to care for you. Your daughter will care for you because she loves you. She'll do whatever she has to do. But you're going to completely interrupt her life. And if she has a job and has to quit her job, she's going to lose her income. She's going to lose her benefits. She's going to lose her 401k match. How is this going to be reality? Not to mention, is she the kind of person that is loving, caring, and patient? If we were all loving, caring, and patient, we'd all be nurses. We'd all be in some kind of caregiving job, right? Everyone's not cut out to do the things that you need to do for an adult human being, all right? Think about all the things you do with a baby, only now it's an adult body. That's what you're talking about, okay? So reality, you might have to have a conversation about reality, because I can tell you, knowing everything that I know, and in this business, I have 2 daughters. I would never want them to come and take care of me that way. I want them to come visit, but I would never want them to come and do that. So I would never tell you my daughter's going to take care of me. Will they if they had to? Oh, absolutely. But I don't want them to. So find out what your client's plan is. What are they thinking? Pre-qualify your client. This is for all products, life insurance, DI, long-term care. Ask some health questions. Get used to it. It's okay. Some agents are fearful of asking health questions. Don't worry about it. Hey, what have you seen a doctor for in the last 5 years? If we're going to talk about solutions to help you with your plan, I need to talk about your health. You're going to have to qualify for some of these products. So what have you seen a doctor for in the last 5 years? Just let them talk. Have you had a physical in the last 2 years? Some companies you can't even apply unless you've had a physical in the last 2 years. That means you've had blood work. What medications do you take? Don't forget to ask the why. Even if it seems like it is, even if it seems like it is evident why they're taking it, okay? Just ask the why. We can't make assumptions. So don't just send me a list of meds. I'm going to come right back to you and say, why are they taking what they're taking? Get all the reasons. Get all this information, send it in to me or my team, and we'll tell you if there's any waiting periods, if they can apply, and to what carrier they can apply with. So this is how you pre-qualify. And I have forms for this. I have a general medical form. I've got forms for virtually every disease, okay? Ask the client about their family history. Is there longevity, Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's? What are you worried about? What have you seen? Anyone in the family need care? How long? Why? How much did it cost? Know the cost of care. This is the average across the nation. But listen, just download this app to your phone. It's free. The client can use it too. It's just called Genworth Cost of Care. Just type in the search box, Genworth Cost of Care. I'll put that out in the chat for you. Let's see, this to everyone. Genworth Cost of Care. Just type that into your web search browser, or type it into your phone app store. Okay, the app is free. It's public. There's no code. You don't need an agent code to get in. Some of them, like Nationwide, you need a code to get in. It's going to tell you the cost of care. Here's what the website looks like. Wow, look at that. All you do is pick the state where the client plans to be. Then it's going to give you a list of areas. So if I want to pick California and I want to pick Los Angeles, I can pick that. And it's going to give me the cost of care. So this is Pennsylvania, what you're seeing here, but you can pick anything you want. And then you can look at the cost daily, monthly, or annual. It's going to give you these 4 costs: private rooms, semi-private, assisted living, and home health care. All right. And you can slide this bar across and predict the cost of care 30 years out. Do you know the average age of people purchasing long-term care insurance is early 50s? The average age person goes on claim is 83. That's 30 years later. What's it going to be costing 30 years from now? If it's $10,000 a month now, it's going to be $30,000 a month later. That's a great number to share with your client because it's really scary. Not that you're trying to scare them, but it's scary. So they need to know it. And they can play with this tool as well. Couple things I'll let you know. These numbers are pretty all-encompassing because you live there. That's your food, it's your care, it's almost everything except a TV, pajamas, whatever, you know, other outside items like that, and medication, stuff like that's not included. But it's your room and board and your care. This number here for assisted living, it's an average, first of all, so there's a high and a low, but this is only for the room and board. Then they upcharge you based on how much care you need. So assisted living does not cost half of a nursing home. And the home health care number you see, really this should say 44. This number is for 44 hours a week. 44 hours a week, okay? So it's not 24/7. Home health care can cost anywhere from $15 an hour to $45 an hour. You need 24/7 care, $45 an hour, that's way more than this. And this is why people end up here. Okay. All right. So that's the cost of care. Now, who's going to pay for this? What do we have available? So first up is Medicare. Medicare is a program you paid into. It's supposed to be your health insurance when you turn 65 or older, or when you stop working, right? So in Medicare Part A will help a little bit with long-term care costs. If you're 65 or older, if you stayed in the hospital 3 days and you need skilled care. Feeding you, bathing you, dressing you, that's not skilled care. That's called custodial care. The skilled care is physical therapy, occupational therapy, something like that. As long as I have these three things, Medicare will pay for the first 20 days at 100%. Then from day 21 to day 100, you have to pay a daily copay. This is 2024's number. So I pay the first 204, Medicare will pay the difference. But after day 100, if I got Medicare at all, it's gone, it's done. Okay? So it's really for those short-term disabilities. It's for the person that broke their hip. They went to the hospital, they got fixed up. What do they need? Skilled care, physical therapy, right? They're better in 30, 60, 90 days at the most anyway. That's a short-term problem. Knee replacement, broken hip, things you can't do your activities, but you're going to recover. That's what Medicare's for. Medicaid, or in California, if you're out there, it's called Medi-Cal. Just have a different name, Medi-Cal, okay? That means it's a federal and state funded program. You must be financially eligible to qualify. So in a nutshell, and if you want information specific to Medicaid in each state, I have all that ready for you. Just email me at the end and say Medicaid information. What this means is a single person will spend down to about their last $4,000, and couples will spend down to about their last $158,000. Now, California passed some kind of new wackadoo law that says there are no limits. Anybody can get on Medicaid. Well, my God, Medicaid's broke in every state. I don't think that's going to last. I don't know what they were thinking, but Medicaid is broke in every state. And that's why Washington came out with their long-term care tax. The tax is going to supplement Medicaid. California is next on that list to come out with a long-term care tax. So they're going to tax everybody's paycheck, every single W-2 earner in the state. In California, they're even going to tax self-employed persons for LTC tax. And that's how they'll help make up these Medicaid monies. So anyway, financially eligible, they look back 5 years from the day you applied and see if you transferred anything, then they penalize you. And when you're dead, they come back looking again for anything they missed the first time, life insurance, anything they missed the first time. Okay, so it's a free program, but it's not so free. You really need to be destitute to be on these programs. Veterans benefits. There's a couple of programs, but they're prioritizing illnesses that were related to a service injury. That's who gets the benefits first. And you must be financially eligible as well. So that poor old 80-year-old retired colonel who happens to need help with his 206 activities, he's nowhere near on the list. Okay? He doesn't fit here and he doesn't fit here. So don't let veterans tell you they're going to get their stuff for free. So we all have income and assets. It's your money. Spend it any way you want. But if you buy long-term care insurance, you can pair these up together. And now you're going to be buying your care at a discount. You're self-funding better, longer, and tax-free. If you have enough money to self-fund, you can do this to self-fund instead. Buy this instead of that. Do you want to pay for your care dollar for dollar? Or do you want to pay for your care pennies on the dollar? And this will help people not to run out of money so quickly. All right. So when you talk to your clients, you're going to talk to them about their portfolio. And you're doing this anyway, right? Because you're talking about retirement planning. You're talking about life insurance needs. You're talking about IRA rollovers, right? So you already are familiar with getting to know somebody's portfolio. When we're talking about long-term care insurance is expensive. So we need to help the client find the money to pay the premium. Don't just show the client a premium and say, hey, well, this is the premium. It's $10,000 a year for your premium. And they're just got sticker shock like deer in the headlights. We don't want to do that. We want to find the money so they can afford it, right? So ask them how they're going to pay for the actual care. Now, if you know they have $2 million and up, you might want to speak in a single premium kind of money. So, Mr. Jones, you need $100,000 to pay for next year's care. What would you like to liquidate first from your portfolio? If he doesn't have a couple $1 million, okay, I might say, you need $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month starting tomorrow. You'll probably need care 3, 4, 5, 6 years. What would you like to liquidate first? You already know what he's going to say, because this money here is what? It's liquid. Taxes are already typically paid. There's no market timing issues. It's just there. Okay. But once this is spent, he's got to start. All of this is at risk. Every dime, everything you own is at risk. You have to get rid of all of it to get on Medicaid. So the other issues we have with other areas, liquidity issues, taxes all over the place. You have taxes everywhere, all right? Market timing issues. And remember, for most of us, what is this pot of money for? It's to create income, right? It's for my retirement income. So if I'm your client and I say to you, well, here's my portfolio, and I want to retire at 62, and I'll probably live till I'm 99. Do you think my money will last till I'm 99 if I need $10,000 a month? And you do the analysis, the Monte Carlo, and you say, yeah, Susan, it'll last. And then you're going to say to me, well, what if you need $30,000 a month? Well, why would I need $30,000? $10,000 to live on because you want to stay at home, and $20,000 for care a month. Now, is it going to last till I'm 99? Probably not, right? And not only that, suppose I use the money, what's left to produce the income for the surviving spouse? Or what if I recover? What's left to produce the income? I'm using it. So this is the problem. All right, let's look at your carriers you have available. You got 4 carriers with Crump for long-term care, just 4. I know you see 5 on here, but there's 4. There's 2 traditional. This is the standalone long-term care insurance, Beach of Omaha, National Guardian Life. If you're working with any business owners or employer group plans, please contact me directly. We'll talk about your employer group plans directly with me. Don't call my team for that, call me. Policies from 30 to 80, not all carriers do all ages. You have 2 linked benefit, Minnesota Life Securian and One America. Nationwide, you sell that directly with Nationwide, okay? So you have the 4 with Crump, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 traditional, 2 hybrid, and I'm going to explain what traditional and what hybrid is. Before I explain the difference of traditional and hybrid, here's what I tell a client. Look, there's 2 types of policies available, traditional and hybrid. Both policies are built like this. They're built with these core 4 components. This is how we're going to arrive at your premium. Age, health, gender, and these 4 components. So you're choosing a benefit amount. I got to change my slide. You can typically choose anywhere between $15,000 a month. Some companies, $20,000, $30,000 a month. The more you buy, the higher the premium. Some states, like California, they might have higher minimums that you have to buy. California, New York, South Dakota, I think, have higher minimums. Benefit period. How long do you think you'll be sick, Mr. Jones? That's what you're asking them. This isn't about statistics. How long does he think he'll need care? He doesn't know. What's your family history? Longevity, dementia, what's in your family? He can buy a policy that'll just last 2 years or 3 or 4, 6, 8. But there's 2 companies that sell unlimited. Only 2. One traditional company, NGL, National Guardian Life, and one hybrid company, One America. So isn't this a real important question to ask your client about? Do you think you need an unlimited benefit period, Mr. Jones? Because now you're down to 2 companies. You don't need to talk to him about all 4 companies. You're down to 2. So real important. Does he think he needs unlimited? If you're not buying unlimited, you're buying a pool of money, which is just math. So if I'm buying 5,000, I'm buying 4 years, I'm buying 240. That's what I'm buying. Okay? You're going to add inflation protection to ages 75 and younger. As long as they can afford it, they should have inflation. Inflation's going to grow this 5,000, which in turn will grow the pool of money. So if I'm in my 50s buying this, by the time I'm in my 80s, I have 12, 15,000 a month to use. And I have $1 million to use instead. So it's growing. It's growing whether you're on claim or not. 3% compound is what we like to use. Some other companies have others available and simple, but 3% compound is the best price, I'll say. Then all the policies have something called a waiting period. It is what it is. You're not choosing it. Okay? One America in all states except California, it's 0 at home, 90 for facility. Nationwide is 90 days. Securian is 90 days. California, One America's 30 days for home care, 60 for other. So it just is what it is. There'll be a waiting period. This means after you got certified by the doctor, you call the insurance company and you pay out of pocket these days, and then the policy pays. The good news is all the companies you sell, you only ever have to do this one time. So you go on and off claim, you don't have to do this again. It is a one-time deal. That's it. That's how the policies are structured. Now you know everything. You know how to go on claim, right? 2 of 6 activities or cognitive impairment. And you know the 4 components. All right? With traditional policies, there's some riders you can add. We don't need to go too much into that today, but let's talk about traditional versus hybrid. Traditional means also standalone long-term care. Some people like the word standalone. It's pure long-term care insurance. It doesn't do anything else. It's like homeowners. It's only for your home. Car insurance is only for your car. Health insurance is only for your health. That's what this is. It's only for long-term care. So it's cheaper. It's less expensive than the other products. Partnerships available, but here's the states where partnership is not. So you can see, if you don't see your state here, you do have partnership. That protects your assets from Medicaid spend down. Tax deductions. How do you file your taxes, Mr. Jones? Do you have an HSA account, Mr. Jones? A health savings account? Do you know you can use some money from that to pay your premium? You own a business. Maybe we can get some discounts on the policies and have a lot of people apply at once. Do you know you don't have to pay the premiums when you're on claim? They're waived. A lot of times the premiums are not guaranteed, but for the last 10 years, neither one of these companies have ever raised rates. So they've got a good track record over the last 10 years. NGL offers a single pay and a 10 pay. The single pay is completely guaranteed in all states. The 10 pay is guaranteed in all states except California. And NGL is not in New York. Only thing you have in New York is Mutual of Omaha and Nationwide. 2 products in New York, that's it. Now, what's wrong with traditional is it's use it or lose it. You can add return of premium, which means if you die, they return your premiums. But that makes it expensive. The reason you're buying this is because you want less expensive, okay? So it's use it or lose it. That's not a terrible thing, okay? We buy tons of insurances our entire lives that are use it or lose it. Home, car, health, term insurance. It's all use it or lose it. Do we not buy it? Of course we buy it. All right, that's traditional. So here is hybrid. Hybrid or linked benefit. This is life insurance, long-term care, bundled up. It's not life with a rider, because you can buy the rider or not. This is together, you're buying both parts. It all comes bundled up, locked up together, linked benefit or hybrid, right? That's the difference. It does have guaranteed premiums. You do have paid up options, so you don't have to pay forever. You can pay single pay, 10 pay, 15 pay, 20 pay, 5 pay, pay to 95, pay to 100. There's different pay options. However you're going to pay for it, all the premiums are always guaranteed. They can never raise your rates. It's not use it or lose it. If I die, someone's going to get my money back. And if I need to surrender it, something's happened financially, I need to put food on my table, I can take the money and surrender it. Okay? So these are called live, die, or quit. If I live and need care, it'll pay. If I die, it'll pay. If I quit, it'll pay. It pays no matter what happens. This kind of policy is cheaper than life with a rider. Okay? Because it doesn't have a big death benefit. It's got big long-term care, small death benefit. Find the money. Mr. Jones, do you have any cash value built up in your life insurance? You can exchange it tax-free for one of these kind of plans. And now your long-term care plan will be all set. You're looking primarily for non-qualified money, that CD that's coming due, some kind of cash kind of money. But you can use qualified money. They have to pay their taxes, maybe not all at once, but they have to pay their taxes. And in all states except California, One America is really good at this. In fact, One America in all states is the only company that takes qualified money directly. But in other states beside California, One America is going to give you a 25% bonus on your money, and you get to spread your taxes out over 10 years, not pay taxes all at once. And high earning income years, like for myself, I started my 10 pay policy when I was 52. It will be paid up when I'm 62. Your 52-year-old is who? Empty nest. Colleges are done, right? Highest earning income years. Great time to start that 10 pay. It'll be all paid up by the time I'm ready to retire. Okay? So high earning income years. All right. I'm going to go on here. Here's a little bit of difference with Securian and One America. Now, when I talked about asking your client about their plan, and if they start talking about that informal, unlicensed person, you're going to need a policy that pays cash to do that. There's two companies that sell cash, Nationwide, Care Matters, and Securian Secure Care. Okay? Care Matters and Secure Care. Those are the two cash companies. So if you know your client wants to hire their neighbor, their niece, their housekeeper, their daughter, they're going to need cash to do that. All other companies, your Mutual of Omaha, your NGL, your One America, they are all reimbursement. They require licensed, qualified people or places. So there's a big difference, cash. A big difference also with Securian. Securian's the only company that allows full international coverage. Now, Securian's not in California yet, but we're expecting them there at the end of August, maybe early September. All right. So full international, all the other companies only let you use the death benefit in another country. You can't use your big bucket of money of long-term care in another country, except with Securian. So Securian equals international, bar none. One America, their upsides, unlimited. They sell unlimited, they don't. Qualified money, they don't. Waiver of premium, that's on both sides. Impaired risk, up to table 8. They take HIV positive, they take type 1 diabetics. So they take a lot of issues, all right? Gotta be stable, but they'll take some different issues. So a lot of companies don't take all these things. So you'll definitely sell One America one day if you haven't already. And 35 to 80, so that's kind of younger than that. 40 to 75, that's about Nationwide's 30 to 75, I think. Okay. All right, so this is your One America library. When you go in here, it's specifically for you. For my California folks on the line, there's a section in here called California Corner. Your products are a little bit different in California, okay? You have Asset Care 1 is your single pay, Asset Care 4 is your recurring premium, and Asset Care 3 is your qualified money. Everybody else, you're just called Asset Care, and how do you want to pay for it? But this is a great website for all states, okay? You got your One America Wholesaler team. You've got consumer materials, including videos. There's great videos. You can attach one of these little 1-minute videos to your signature. Maybe your clients don't even know that long-term care planning is something that you can help them with. So let them know. And then there's all kinds of producer materials and all that. You do your applications and contracting on the Crump site. I'm going to show you that later. All right, here it is. This is new, industry update here. Washington, a couple years ago now, they started charging their tax last year in July. It's a payroll tax, 58.58% for every W-2 earner. So 58 cents for every $100. You make $100,000 a year, $580 a year in tax. They're collecting the tax for every single W-2 earner in the state. The tax is going to supplement Medicaid. All right, it's a tax. It can go up. If you bought long-term care insurance, you don't have to pay the tax. So there was a big mess in Washington. Everybody ran out and tried to run and buy a policy right away, right? They gave them about 6 months to go run and buy a policy. 3 months into the 6 months, all the insurance companies left the state. They said, we don't want all of this business. We don't want all that. It's a mess. It's a hot mess. They left the state. So then there was nothing to buy if you didn't buy it in time. All right. Now I'm saying this because these are the states that are going to be next. Regardless of what color you see, here's what I'm telling you. We are closely, when I say I mean the insurance industry. They're watching California because they don't want the mess they had up here. When this hits, they all might leave the state. We don't know what they'll do. So California, we're watching Minnesota, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and New York. Those are the states we think will be next. Now, it is an election year, so we don't know what will happen this year. Probably nothing. All right. But California, they're so close, they put together a committee. The committee the committee came up with 5 programs. They had to submit the programs to the state January 1st of 2024. So everything's in the state's hands. All the state has to do is pick one of those 5 programs and roll it out. There's not going to be a vote. They're just going to roll it out and collect the tax. All right? So if you want information on the tax, the LTC tax, that's another thing. So I've said so far, Medicaid, LTC tax, these are special things you want to email me for. The end, you're going to send me an email, and I'm going to send you that information. So I have a PowerPoint. It covers all the states. So specifically, the California page in the PowerPoint shows you the 5 programs that are potentially going to happen. They'll pick one of those. We don't know which one, but you can have all the information that I have. Okay, on any of the states that have something in the works. Okay, tax advantages. So long-term care insurance is health insurance. Health insurance is tax deductible. C corporations tax deduct health insurance 100%. So if I own a C corporation, I can pay for my employees deducted at 100%. I'm talking about the LTC premiums. If it's a hybrid policy, not the life part, only the LTC part of the premium. If it's traditional, standalone, the whole thing is LTC. So I can deduct the whole thing, 100%. I can even pay for my employee's spouse, deduct it at 100%. It's not reportable as W-2 income. Benefits are still tax-free. So yes, the company paid for it. Benefits are still tax-free. And the policy's portable. My executive wants to leave, they can take their policy and go with them. Benefits are still tax-free. And if they had a discount in that employer group program I talked about, they can still keep their discount as well. So C Corp gets all the rules. And if somebody's an S Corp, they can do all of this, same as a C Corp, for the non-owners. The owner of the S Corp has to follow the table. So they have a limit of what they can deduct. If they own more than 2%, or if you're self-employed, sole proprietor, LLC, whatever else you are, you follow the table. It's an above-the-line tax deduction, so you don't have to be itemizing. You just have to follow the table. But the S Corp paying for an employee follows the C Corp rule. Okay? One other thing about the cash indemnity. So the cash indemnity policies, and remember, there's two ways the monthly benefit pays out. It pays out in cash or it pays out reimbursement. Reimbursement means licensed, qualified people or places. Cash means they just send you the cash. It's flexible, you can do whatever you want. But the cash policies are only tax-free up to this number. The IRS sets a number each year. So it's only tax-free up to this, unless you can prove you spent the money legitimately. You didn't hire your dog or your neighbor, your niece. You hired real people, okay? So that's just one of the differences. Reimbursement's always going to be tax-free. So it's just a difference. I believe cash and reimbursement, that's a conversation you need to have with your client. It's not up to you. It's up to them. And I can tell you as I'm sitting here, 50% of the people I talk to want cash and 50% don't want cash. So leave it up to the client. Cash can be a burden if there's not a proper person who can manage the money, right? Because it's got to be managed. So who's crawling out of the woodwork to manage the money? That's the question. Here's where you can run some quotes. One America has a calculator available. NGL has a calculator. Mutual of Omaha, they have an app for your phone you can use. On the Crump Transaction Center, there's some places. I like to use WinFlex Web. So here's what I say for illustrations. Use my team, your WFG, use my team, call, email, use my team. If you all want to learn how to run your own illustrations, if there's a team of you or a group of you that say, yeah, I'd like to know, let's do a class and we'll focus just on that, okay? No product info, just how to run the illustration, all right? Because it's real important. And yes, you can go on here and dabble and figure it out, but there are sweet spots. There's great information I'd love to share with you if you're going to try to do it yourself. Licensing. Yes, you need the life and the health lines. Then you also need CE credits. You need the license and the CEs for whatever states you're doing business in. So if you're California, you would need your California, your resident stuff. Then if you're California, but your client's in Georgia, you're going to need what Georgia needs. Okay? So remember, you need all the licenses and the CEs. The CEs are an 8-hour course and typically a 4-hour refresher at every 2 years. Now, in California specifically, if you've been licensed the last 4 years or less, so if you're newly licensed, you don't do the 4, you have to keep doing the 8. Every 2 years you do the 8. So know what you need in your state. I like Web CE. A lot of my WFG folks like the Success CE. That's fine too. Here's what I say. Don't use Reg Ed. Reg Ed, however you say it. Don't use them for long-term care. It's not good, all right? Pick one of these other companies and make that your vendor that you always use. You're going to get appointed through the My WFG and you click on Crump. This is where you'll get contracted and you'll do your apps. So it's under My WFG. You log into Crump, under Quick Links, Get Contracted link, Start New App link, and here, Underwriting Questionnaires. Pull down that breast cancer questionnaire, prostate cancer questionnaire, pull down that diabetes, arthritis, hepatitis. There's a questionnaire for almost everything. You can use them for life, DI, and LTC. These are the answers we need to tell you if someone's insurable. So get to know this section, all right? Some apps are not e-apps. Some companies are not e-app, and that may have to do with the state. So California, you got some funky things out there. New York, funky too. All right. But if you don't see it in here, it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means it's probably going to be paper. Okay. And that's okay. We'll walk you through that. The app comes in, client goes through underwriting. So personal history interview, potential cognitive test, potential paramed is only one America. The other carriers don't do parameds. All the carriers look at the Medical Information Bureau, prescriptions, and maybe doctor's records, depending if they need them. It takes 4 to 6 weeks for underwriting. Don't promise your client and don't expect anything less. First of all, this phone interview, all the carriers use a third-party vendor to make the phone call. That third-party vendor is 2 weeks behind in even scheduling the call. They're out of people. I don't know if they're having a hiring problem. I don't know what the deal is. But since all the carriers use the same, this is nationwide, this is everybody. It's not a Crump thing. It's that third-party vendor they use for the call. So just set the expectation with your client, that's all. Say, look, schedule your call as soon as you can, personal best time of day, don't be rushed, okay? Don't tell any jokes, only answer what they ask. Don't answer anything else, don't volunteer anything. And especially be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for something like this, and don't tell any jokes. Okay, make sure they understand you only get one chance to pass this test. If you fail this cognitive test, you as the agent, don't call me up and say, but my client's so smart. She was having a bad day. She didn't know she was having a cognitive test. Okay, she should have known because you're supposed to tell her, and she needs to know how serious it is. So you've got to tell people how serious it is because she's not going to get another chance. No carrier will take you if you failed one of these with one company. All right. Look at yourself. Okay, if you're young, look at your parents. Look at somebody. Practice on yourself. You can take a practice application. You can do some practice quotes. Practice with each other. All right. This is really, really what you can do. And if you're in this category, if you're 45 and up, you're ripe for long-term care. Start looking at your own long-term care needs. Own it yourself. Client appointments, make sure, let them share their experience because it is powerful. All right. I always share, the story I share is really not my own, it's my sister's. My sister's husband got Parkinson's at the age of 40. 40. He lived till he was 62 with Parkinson's. Okay, you have pretty much a sound mind for a while with Parkinson's. So he was too young to go anywhere, but he basically had these, wet noodle legs, couldn't do anything. He was 6'2", she's 4'11". Oh my gosh. What do you think happened when he fell on the floor and couldn't get up? I'm sorry, you think my sister was picking him up? Here they are, No, this is what we're talking about. So she had to call the fire department. As a caregiver, she is worn out from caring for him, trying to lift him, trying to take care of him. People aren't friendly when they're in these disease situations. He wasn't the friendliest, right? Treated her badly. So emotional, physical, mental, issues with caregivers. If you're listening to somebody, they'll talk themselves right into a solution instead of somebody trying to do it for them. As soon as my mother saw my poor sister doing all this with her husband, my mother said, I don't want anybody doing all that for me. Just put me over here. Just do this. Because when you see it, you have a different mindset. Here's your target market, 50 to 70. But again, you have products for 30 to 80. Business owners, employer group plans, call me up. Let's talk about those cases together. Workshops, seminars. Long-term care awareness month is November, but you can do a webinar any time of year. Your One America person can do it. You can do this in person, a nice little lunch and learn. Everybody invites a couple of people, right? Really exciting. Make sure it's part of your annual review checklist with your client. Coverage waiver form, if they don't want to buy long-term care, you can have them sign this waiver form, and you can get your CLTC designation. Crump has a discount. It's about $800. It's a 2-day course. This course will change your life. You love courses and you want to learn and you want to specialize in this area, the CLTC is the way to do it. All right, we're here to help you and make you look good. I can do point of sale work with you, client conference calls. You don't have to do everything yourself. Client webinars, all of that. Multi-life groups come to me. If I can't answer your tax questions and all that regarding long-term care, we also have an advanced sales department here at Crump. We're here to make you look valuable. That's what we're here to do. If it has anything to do with long-term care, let's say you put a case in and it's not moving properly through with your case manager and you want to escalate something, something's going wrong. I don't want you frustrated and everybody yapping about Crump. Call Susan. If it's long-term care, call Susan. If it's life insurance, call Maria. We want to help you. I don't know anything about the cases once they come in until you call me and say, hey, I need some help here. Something's wrong. Let me help you. Okay, before you get frustrated. So I promise you, that's what I'm here for as your wholesaler, and Maria as well. Okay, I'll take any questions that you have. Remember, I'm going to send a follow-up email out with some materials and all kinds of things. So if you have questions when you get that email, just go ahead and email me. That's no problem. I don't see anything in the chat. This was the basic training, so if you were just listening, taking notes, that's perfect for today. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Susan. But yes, can you please unmute? We only have 4 more minutes for question and answer, so please unmute your line if you have questions.
Don't worry, just email me. If we don't get to it, just email me. That's no problem. Remember, if you want that LTC tax information, here's my email. Pop me an email. If you want Medicaid information. Also, another good piece of information my WFG advisors usually want is something called signing rules. So in order to sign an application, to even apply for a policy, you have to be a certain type of person, right? You don't have to be a citizen, but you need certain credentials. Each carrier has a different set of credentials that they require. Some require this visa or that visa or whatever. So if you're dealing with people who are non-citizens, email me right there and say signing rules. And I'll just send you the list of signing rules and then we'll figure out where your client fits. So that's another one people ask me for. Otherwise, some of the things I send you probably will answer some of the questions. I don't see anything in the chat or anybody.
Yes, Susan, but there you go. Go ahead, Laura. Can you please unmute your line?
Okay, so who makes the appointment for the personal history interview? The client will. So the carrier will typically email or call the client to schedule the interview. So the client does that. You don't have to do anything except take the application. That's what your job is. The client will get their email to schedule their interview, okay? It's either an email or a call. Some companies do it different to make their appointment. You just want to tell the client, make your appointment for your personal best time of day. We're all not morning people. We're all not nighttime people. I'm usually in bed by 8:30. It's 11 p.m. here where I am. So best time of day, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right? Real important. There's also a personal history interview worksheet with every carrier has one. Get the worksheet, send that to your client. Say, here, get ready for your call. Another question is for the traditional. You said it's use it or lose it. You can use it anytime, yes. You could have an accident the next day and go on claim. You can use it anytime. You can use it in any state, doesn't matter where you bought it. You can use all policies in any state. International's different. So if you're gonna try to use something in another country, that's different. It doesn't terminate, no. like term insurance. It doesn't terminate ever. As long as you're paying the premium, it's guaranteed. Premium can go up, but the policy's guaranteed as long as you're paying the premium. So it's called guaranteed renewable, I guess. Okay, how would you approach a client that says, I don't have any assets, so I will qualify for Medicaid, so I don't need LTC insurance? Well, they're right. If they don't have anything and they're going to be future Medicaid recipients, they don't need long-term care insurance. Because they are future Medicaid recipients, and that's your job to know that. You don't want to sell somebody something that they'll never use or that hinders them, because long-term care insurance is an asset, and that counts when they're qualifying you for Medicaid, counts under the assets. So you that would be damaging somebody. So, but find out how much do they own, because maybe if it's a partnership state, you could protect the little bit they do own by having a small long-term care policy. For VA, it says, do we have a complete checklist for VA disability requirements, LTC benefits? So if you want veteran information, email me, say veteran information. I'll send you what I've got, which is actually from the CLTC course that I took. So I'll send you that about veterans for that. What is the chance of approval? Kidney transplant? We have a second. Let me just see real quick. See, I'm just pulling out an underwriting book, and I look things up like that. Some transplants are okay, and some are not. Kidney transplant is a no. So that one's a no. A kidney donor is okay after 6 months if they have a normal functioning remaining kidney. So, but kidney transplant is no. But some transplants are okay. So always ask, always ask. But I will send that knockout questionnaire in the follow-up as well. So you'll have the knockouts. And if it's on that, it's a knockout. But if it's anything else, you can always check with us. Like I said, so we can help you pre-screen. Okay. The link to learn more about LTC, there's lots of links. I have a lot of pre-recorded sessions. And also for the CLTC, that was there, ltc-cltc.com. But you want to get the discount. So if you email me and say CLTC designation, I'll send you the Crump discount code, okay, for that. All right. That looks like all the questions in the chat, so I don't want to hold everybody up. Oh, one more popped in. Can I still apply my clients that previously declined for LTC and life insurance? Yeah. If you have declines, give me all the information about the declination. I need to know the why, what was it all about? Why were they declined? Any details you have. I even have a decline form. If you want to send me an email and say, I need the decline form, I'll send you the form, send it to, either you fill it out or send it to the client to fill out. I need to know all the why, and I'll shop it out to the carriers and see if there's any takers with those issues. Absolutely. Thanks for bringing that one up. I don't think I said that. Okay, so I'm here. Let me know how I can help you. My team is here. Let us know how we can help you. You can send anything to me or my team. I will be in Vegas next week. Stop by and say hello. I'll be happy to see you, and we'll work on scheduling our next meeting together. Yeah.
Yes, Susan. Thank you very much, and we will definitely see you next week in our convention. But yes, we want to have a follow-up training. And 2 weeks from now. It's going to be July 22nd, and we want to learn the illustration.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to contact Maria also. But if you're available July 22nd, we want to hear from you again in regards of the taxes and illustrations.
The 22nd I am not, but the 29th is a possibility.
Okay. And for those people who's asking me in regards of the materials, I am passing it to Faith, and Faith is creating our WFG Elite Team website where we are compiling all our trainings and materials together. So if you want to hear more and want to get the materials, we can get it from our website. So can we schedule it on the 29th, Susan?
Yes. Can you
Okay.
send me an email for that?
Sure.
Okay,
Well.
great.
Okay, so I think that's it for Susan. Thank you for your time. But before we leave, I just have some announcement. Next,
Thank you so much.
thank you, Susan. See you next week at convention.
Thank you.
And oops. Next week we don't have any product training because we will have our convention. But this is just a little bit of information. You know, anything, everything that we need to know before we go. So we have the schedule. Okay, if you are coming this Monday, let's register early. But before that, we have Friday leadership meeting, and Monday at 8 p.m. we will be in Sahara office. So please take note and invite our team to attend our WLB meeting. Plus Monday we have our registration at 12. Please bring, we have a lot of materials that we can choose and pick from all the vendors and from all the providers. And also we have our WSP store. So Tuesday, we'll send this to our group, and then registration, please, gather your barcodes, most especially to our new teammates that don't have any experience. Please, bring your ID and digital printed of your copies of your registration, because we have an experience before that we are looking for our barcodes on the spot, and sometimes there's no signal. And then please watch out for our venue. Be ready. We have to wear our comfortable shoes because there's a long walk. And also we have to know the seating arrangement. Yes, we have a seating arrangement. First day will be on the blue side. Right there, blue side. But of course, we have to fight for our front seat. And on the second day, we are going to be at the back. So we have to fight for the front seat. So leaders, we have to wake up early, right? And also know our uniform, know the attire, and also be prepared with the weather. So we have to bring our jackets. Okay, so yes, we are gonna be in a sauna, but but the arena will be cold. So if we can bring our jackets inside. And prohibited items, of course, we cannot bring our luggages. So for teammates who gonna come from different states, we have to note that we cannot bring our big bags and luggages. And also take advantage. There's a WSB shop. So I'm planning to bring a luggage on the day of the registration so I can buy a lot of materials so we can, save money for shipping. And also award ceremony, dress to impress. Okay, and of course we have the new MD SMD parade. So if you are new MD SMD, please expect to be early on the Thursday morning to march in the stage. And also food and drinks, very important, right? We cannot get hungry. So at least bring nuts or power bars, okay? And we cannot, the nuts can help us not to be sleepy. And of course, that's, what else? We have a help desk. We have to remember and remind our teammates that we are WSB. They might go to different arena. And of course, what to expect. Bring notebook and pen, snacks and power bank. Manage expectation. Please right now, let them know that we cannot sleep too much. Okay, we have to have less sleep. Okay, we have to wake up early and fall in line early. Fight for the front seats. Weak meals due to tight schedule. Also, right now, create your team communication. It can be from WhatsApp, Messenger, or whatever group text that you're using. Come early, be with the team, and stay until the end. And of course, mental preparation. This is very important. I'm just so excited about my team. We have 15 in our base shop, and I think 95% of my base shop are new. So clear your mind for any negativity and be clear of your intentions. We have 1 week in preparation. Know your purpose, why we are going to take a day off, why we're spending money, okay, why we're attending the convention. And of course, for seasoned, mental preparation is to learn how are you going to lead your team for the next event. Okay, and of course, we will be the same person coming in and coming out of the convention. So this will be going to I am going to send this need to know